Brothers and sisters, soldiers and soldierettes, salute! Welcome to another nature podcast. I like doing podcasts when it's out in nature, whether it's the universe or it's the mountains and the sky and the greenery. And, just flow with me, let's go down this spiritual walk together. Remember, we're not followers. And it's a beautiful thing when we can get to that success state of mind. It's really wonderful. Of course, we're always still learning and striving. Never get to a place where we're done. Something new every day. If you're looking for good knowledge and looking for new things and you're looking to elevate, that's what you'll see, brother or sister, young or old. Let's get to those honors. I always got to get to those honors. I honor thy ancestors, those who fought hard, left a blueprint for the righteous brothers and sisters out here, as well as in our families, young or old. The righteous ones, some that gave their lives to get a lot of us in the place and the state that we're in. And that's success within. It's beautiful when we can get to that, when we're living it, and I honor our families. May all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And everyone that we held dear in our families, may they rest in peace and in power. And we're going to keep this energy strong. And like I said, welcome to another nature podcast. I always like to go what? We all say it together. Above and beyond. These small spaces that this system will try to keep us in. So keep studying this here so-called matrix. And you won't get caught up in it, because you always got to know that things will come down the road, whether positive or negative. It just depends on how we are as an individual, brother or sister, young or old, in our families, what we're doing in the present, and will determine what will happen in the future. That's facts of law of nature. That's facts. You can't get around that. Rules, principles, and laws of nature is totally different. Rules and principles are totally different. Rules are put in place to control. Principles is off nature. You go off the heart, morally, rightly, the best way we can, brother or sister, because that's what this whole life is about. That's what that great divine has put in a lot of our spirits. It's not just mine. And once we know our purpose and what we're here for, when it's a righteous purpose, we stand on what we have learned, the love we have created, the knowledge we have gained and given, and we circulate that knowledge and power to each other, brother or sister. We say one, but it's not always about one. It's all for one, one for all, and I mean that in a righteous way, and I say one because every now and then we do have to take moments to ourselves, that's brother or sister, just to maintain the strengths in our physical self, our spiritual self, and of course the old mental, because if the mind's right, the body's right. You can never go wrong. And this will be another edition of EBX discussion and another edition of Mentally Off the Grid, part 2. And I'll put the part 1. I didn't put it on the podcast, but it's part 1 because this will be part 2. And I'll put it in the end screen. And we're going to talk about, I kind of broke it down in the last podcast about what Mentally Off the Grid is all about and how I came to this title and starting to live by this, and also want to speak on one's perspectives on banks and also on the power of self-discipline, and I mean in everything, discipline in areas that will benefit us for life and those we are connected to, because we're always going to be connected to people. So it is important sometimes, the things we do in our lives, to keep a stable mind, and the things we indulge in, I always say, see, hear, and feel. And mentally off the grid is a state of mind, just like success, just like status. It's all how we feel about oneself. And if you can get through all the little inner shit inside that no one else knows about, once you can fight those little psychological wars within, nothing can stop you. You tell me, what could stop you, brother or sister, when you fight all those psychological wars within? There's no war can be won on the outside until you win that one within, and that's more than just saying it. Keep living, as my grandmother say. You'll hear me say that from time to time. But first, I want to give one's perspectives on banks, and this has been in my spirit for a long time. And I gotta say it. I don't like banks. I don't like cash apps. I don't like debit cards. I don't like anything to do with digital. Now, I say these things. I know we have to move forward, move with time, move with technology. I know we have to convert over to, Bitcoin and all this old good stuff that's coming down the road and coming down the pike. I know this, but just giving one's perspective, as I said, how I feel about banks. And this is how, now one doesn't know a lot about politics. So like I said in a recent podcast, there's certain areas I speak on a lot of stuff, but if it's something I don't know a lot about, speak on it a little bit, but you can't go in too deep on things if you don't have a lot of knowledge about it. So I just give one's perspectives. Now, I don't know a lot about politics, and I know some things about the government, of course, how the system operates, all that good stuff. But this is how I look at this system. It goes the bankers, the Congress, the politicians, the vice president, the president, and then the public. That's how I look at it. And the bankers are the root of it all. And I'm going to tell you why I really don't like bankers. Now, it's just a little small story. It's just my own thing, not pushing what I feel and, my opinion on to no one else. Because you do have good people that, have cash apps and stuff like that. Not everybody is. You got those that are abusing it and scamming and all that. But you also have those that, that are out here that have cash apps and doing things for the right reasons. So I'm not talking about y'all, but this is just my thing, my perspective, like I said, on banking and why self-discipline is very, very important. Just keep on living. Just keep living. You'll see. Righteous self-discipline. This is why I don't like banks. Now, I don't have a bank account. I don't have a cash card, debit card, none of that shit. Now, I used to have a bank account many, many years ago. I can't even remember. And the bank, all you needed was $1 to keep the bank open. So that's what I did, and I drew all my money out. And this is what self-discipline comes in. And, I just used to draw all my money out. I wouldn't spend it. I just didn't keep it in the bank. I've always been pretty good about saving money, and I've gotten better over the years without banks. And so I came in to cash my check one day, and they closed my bank account out because I wouldn't keep money in it. So ever since then, I said, fuck banks. Fuck you, and I don't like that. We work hard for our money, then you gonna control how I keep my money, where, so fuck you. So at that point, that's when I became disciplined, and I saved my own damn money, and I don't reveal, where I keep my money, but I have my own little resources, you know what I'm saying? And it's not in no banks, not on no card, unless I absolutely have to. Because, again, in this day and age with this technology, some things do have to be digital. So I do understand that. But originality, brothers and sisters, I will always connect myself to originality. And not, as far as this and money and, music, hip hop, things of a natural, I just, in these banks, like I said, I don't know a lot about banks, but that moment right there just let me know, just me, I don't know nobody else, that they don't give a fuck about your money. They can't run a business without us, and I told this brother that came in to eat in a restaurant one day. He said, well, how you cash your, he said, how you get your money? I said, it's on paper. I'm going to get my money on paper as long as it's on paper until I have to convert over to digital, So that's my little story about banks and why I don't like that word hate, but I hate banks. I don't like banks, I don't like no entity trying to control what I work hard for, what I sweat for, and so that's why I don't like banks. But like I said, everybody's different, not pushing what I feel about, debit cards and cash apps and all that shit. I can't stand that shit. So that's what I mean about going mentally by being mentally off the grid, and just like it's like a slice of a pie, piece by piece, working my way further and further off the grid. Pretty soon be physically off. But because the way this system is set up, like I said, we'll always be connected in one way or another, because that's the way they got it set up. But it's different things that we can cut off, that we can boycott, just my opinion, suggestion, advice. And we do all this for what? To maintain our mind, body, and soul. Let no discouragement, let nothing that make you feel down get into your psyche ever. You keep forging forward, learn new things, connect to the real like-minded brothers and sisters, whether it's in our families or outside our families, and just keep ourselves connected to positive energy and self-discipline. It's a beautiful thing, but it has to be practiced, it has to be studied, and you have to always keep yourself aware of things to be self-disciplined. Watch those impulses, as I always say. Pay attention to our instincts. Don't just jump into situations. Step back, think, like I always say, before we make any decisions, positive or negative, and be true to oneself overall, and always be connected to that great divine spirit. And we stay in that righteous realm, self-discipline. It becomes powerful when you keep, when you do stuff for a long time, you do it long enough, you get better at it. So self-discipline. So this is how, I don't need no bank. I'm just going to flat out tell y'all, I don't need no fucking bank. I could save my money and be disciplined without it, because this is just my opinion. This is what these banks make me feel like we're inadequate to save our own money. We can, we don't need no fucking bank. They need us. If everybody pulled out their damn money from banks, they would fucking flop and go bankrupt, literally, But of course, that something will happen. They'll come up with some kind of law or some new rule where you have to put. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. So that's just my take, and that's just another part of being mentally off the grid. I don't need your fucking bank. So that's just my thing, though. So it's just beautiful when you can get to a state when you just want to live life and you want to breathe life into others and share knowledge and divine thoughts that we have, and those downloads we get. And where do we get them? In the morning. Notice it's in the morning. And like I say, I will always be appreciative for the things I've learned from my family, brothers and sisters I've met along the way, because I've learned knowledge about self-discipline myself, but I've also learned from other teachers also. It's good to listen to other perspective on things. Sometimes we find out things we didn't know. That's from brother, sister, in our family. Could be from our children. When you're open to learn, in a righteous way now, when you're open to learn, you will learn. You will do just that. And again, when I talk about the bank, I'm not telling everybody to pull out their banks or nothing like that. And it's just my opinion and my take. And one thing I don't like is to be controlled. I don't like to be controlled. And that's my pet peeve, because I don't try to control no one, try to push myself off on no one. I just suggest, teach, and give advice. And it's like the deeper we go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, the more we see that parts of this system don't give a fuck about us. Real talk, and that's brother, sister, young or old, So it's different things that I will implement for oneself to make me better and work on myself, and then share what I have learned. And when I'm done working on myself, what I am, I'm just speaking hypothetically, then I can share that strength to others and help them to navigate through this here system here that some of us are unfortunately are connected to, well, pretty much all of us, but those that, like I said, has been on this walk, this cause, fighting for humanity their whole lives, it's nothing to us. It's nothing to us. That's why I say, don't worry about this new technology and things to come, because when we are connected to that great divine, that's brother or sister, we will be dynamic. We'll just come with another plan. I'm telling you, And I'm sure it's many out there, many of those out there just like me, brother or sister, that has the knack of being able not to adapt and change with the times. We just come with another way. We always find a way. Those who are righteous and those who have been righteous, fighting for the culture, fighting for humanity, we always find a way. Because nothing in this life, no technology, no robot, I don't give a damn what it is, nothing can beat the human spirit when it's righteous and it's determined and it's self-disciplined. Nothing can beat the human spirit when it's righteous now. I mean, just like I say, check the history, check those in the past who have fought for humanity. Nothing can beat the human spirit in a brother or a sister, young or old. It always comes back to how that individual is, how that mindset is, and we have to pay attention to our so-called weaknesses and our strengths, So, but of course, we focus more on our positive energy, so we can weed out. There won't be no such thing as weakness, doubt, stress, none of that. There are concerns, as I learned from a lot of teachers. We work things out. It just depends on how we think about situations, how we perceive things. Like my situation with this bank. It's always been on my mind. And, I've mentioned this on platforms in the past I've been on, and people have heard me say I hate banks, because the banks always kind of remind me of stress, the root of it all. That's where everything stems from, the bankers. Real talk. They're the ones holding all the money, So that's just my take, my opinion, like I say, not pushing that on nobody else. Just one's thoughts, that's all. But mentally off the grid, part 2, and it's nice. It's nice not to be consumed by social media and not, going. And, I'm not saying nobody doing this. I'm talking about just for me. And, not worried about what people think or say or what other people are doing and just trying to live life, And as I said before, I work a job, so like I say, we're all connected in some kind of way, but it just depends on how powerful we are in our mind, in our psyche, our spirit, brother or sister. That's what matters, what's in our heart, how we are when we're going through a storm. That's when we know who we are, and not taking things personal. And that divine will test us on that ego. It will place things in our path to test our ego. And that's brother, sister, and it goes for me too, and when you just do things for that great divine, things will be fine. I guarantee it. Just follow that great divine spirit. And as I always say, if you learn nothing else from me on this channel, never look at what's before us. Because if you look at what's before you, especially if it's a hindrance or something that can sway you, you can't see what's beyond. So that's why it's good to practice self-discipline, because it's easier said than done. Things have to be practiced. Maybe test yourself sometimes. Do things out of the ordinary that you wouldn't normally do. You test yourself. Like me with this banking thing. It used to be a challenge saving money, but me not putting my money in a bank, it taught me self-discipline with my money. It's certain things you just got to try. You can't let this system think you can't do without it, when the time comes. Look, like I say, we're going to have times. Like I said, I work a job and everything, but, you can't control my mind, period. If you are true to oneself, to you, you know who you are, not tainted by the toxic things of the world, you tell me what can stop you. You can do anything. It's all up to us, brother or sister. You just always got to keep that great, great divine in there, because the great divine will always show you the way, show up and show out and lead the way, but you got to be full on force with that positive force. Because what I always say, Mother Nature, universe, the higher supreme being loves positive energy. And if you are of a right heart, you'll never go wrong, brother, sister, young or old. In our family, you never go wrong. And try different things, Everything ties into self-discipline. You never go wrong with self-discipline. Righteously, though, it keeps you from a lot of things. It really does, Being mentally off the grid, remember, it's a state of mind, Being mentally off the grid keeps you from going to porn sites, keeps you out of dark chat rooms, stuff like that. Because once you are consumed by the beast, and it depends on who you are, what that beast is. Because that beast can be porn, that beast could be lust, and lust could be for money, material things. I'm telling you, you just never know. You could lose yourself in it. And once you are entangled with the beast of this world, social media, porn, stuff like that, anything dark that they don't feel right in that gut, but you do it anyway. That's once you lose yourself in that, and it's a crazy place to be. It's not good. It's not good. So we have to deflect all things. You can't see that light if you're in the dark, right? So to each is his own. I just hope you're ready for what comes down the road, because when you're mentally off the grid, you see it all. I'm telling you. Remember, it's a state of mind. And that was just my little story about how I feel about the bank. And I've been feeling this for a long time, and I'm very thankful that I use, and a lot of us are like this. Be thankful if we use our 2 ears and listen and deflect all toxic things, and tunnel vision straight to the love of oneself, family, children, and others, and just want to live a great life and breathe great life. And man, teach self-discipline to oneself so we can spread it out to the world. Ripple effect, positive ripple effects. Beautiful. We can just give out positive energy just because we can, not to look for anything. And that's being mentally off the grid. And thank you for those who have been listening. Stay out of those dark places. I'm telling you, you better think about things, play out scenarios. Scenarios can save your life when you play things out, positive or negative. We're able to do things and do our own thing and not be driven. We have to do what we have to do to maintain in this system, but it's certain things that we can cut off. We can start making steps to getting out of this here grid. You know what I mean? We can do it. We can start with our mind, because it's a mental thing first, then the body will follow all day, every day. So this has been another edition of Mentally Off the Grid, part 2. And that was my little perspectives on banks. And it's just my own thing, not pushing my thing on nobody else, just sharing how one feels, and they, like I say, system don't give a fuck about us. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to help my family, to help mine, and whoever connected to me that care about me. I care about you too, and we keep forging forward. Soldier and soldierette, salute. And thank those that have came in, the current subscribers, new subscribers. I appreciate you, whether you react or not. Hope you got something out of what I say. And may that great divine bliss or bless you in your life. Reachers and teachers, those I have learned from. Keep forging forward. Keep doing what we've been doing. Salute. And I honor my family. I honor your family. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world and never stop practicing the power of self-discipline. Salute.